Hi, my friends. It's Miss B, and I'm so glad you're back for another story. I hope you've been having fun with these books. They've been really fun for me to pick, kind of look through our collection and find the ones that I think you'll like the most that have some fun projects to go with them. So I hope you've been enjoying it. Before we start today, I wanted to show you that I went back and colored my koala from yesterday. I just had to. I know I was running out of time in the video because that was a long one, but I just had to see how he turned out. And I told you I was going to try something new with the coloring that I didn't have time to do. And that was just kind of outline it in my marker and then color it in with my crayon. And I really like the way he turned out. So if you didn't get a chance to color your koala in, maybe you can go back and do that if you have some time today. If your koala didn't come out the best because my directions weren't the best, maybe you can go back and try him again because he is very cute. And if you also got a chance to go to some of those sites that I showed you yesterday, I hope you had fun with those projects and new learning too. So feelings check-in. How you doing? How are you feeling today? I hope you're having some bits of happiness in your day and just stopping and thinking about how you are feeling. If you're having some of those really happy feelings or really sad feelings, or if you're somewhere in the middle, then just stop and think about that. You can feel those things, and sometimes you can help yourself feel better if you kind of remember I said, like, talk to somebody, write about it, draw about it, and it just kind of helps you make sense of what those feelings are. In this house, there have been a lot of big feelings. There's just been a lot of, you're feeling different things about being at home and not being at school with friends. And sometimes it just comes exploding out of you. But it does help to stop and think about it along the way and just use some of those words we talked about the other day to talk to your grown-ups about how you're feeling. And you can even ask them how they're feeling, because this is hard for everybody. But I'm so glad to be here with you during this time, because this time is kind of fun for me. I hope it's fun for you too. So for today's project, you need a couple of things, okay? You need your paper and pencil, just like we have the last couple of days, paper and pencil. For today's art project, you're also going to need something that you can trace around that's a circle shape. So I grabbed just a plastic cup that we have. You could grab a cup, bowl, something kind of small-ish. Not tiny, but small-ish. You're going to use this as a tracer. And then if you want to do coloring with me, I know I ran out of time yesterday. Maybe you'll have time today. You need at least 5 colors. And if you don't have those, don't worry about it. But you definitely need the paper and the pencil and a circle tracer. And you will also need a bowl full of a small bowl full, or like a medium-sized bowl of small circle-shaped objects. And by this I mean it could be if you have a piggy bank or your grown-ups have a coin collection. All different size coins are fine. So you can have a bowl, just kind of have that size bowl with some coins in it. If you don't have that, you can have something from the kitchen. Maybe that's a circle shape. We have little Cheerios, Ritz crackers, some circle shaped. My dog is right here and he's about to eat these Cheerios. I see you trying to eat my Cheerios. We have a lot of art supplies in this house. So if you had pom-poms, and I've got pom-poms of all different sizes, big, little, medium. They don't all have to be the same size, but if you pick one tool, kind of stick with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't want some pom-poms and some Cheerios. Maybe you could. Could be more creative than me. I was downstairs looking at art supplies and I found googly eyes. A lot of different googly eyes. Look at this one. I only had one like that. I was looking for that yesterday when I made the koala, but I couldn't find it. But I only had one anyway. So I've got a collection of googly eyes. So something you can fit in a bowl, just kind of a smallish bowl that's kind of full. You need 20 or more of these things. You don't have to count them out. It doesn't have to be perfect. And that's all you, maybe a paper plate too, to do this project on. A paper plate or a plate from the kitchen. And that kind of can make sure you can carry it around when you're working on it. So in a second, you're going to pause the video. You're going to come back with a paper and a pencil and something circle shaped that you can trace, and 5 or more colors if you have them. If not, that's okay. And as well as a small container of something circle shaped, like Cheerios or coins or something, okay? So you're gonna pause the video and go get these things, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, let's do it. Today's book, I'm wearing a little clue here of what today's book is. When I got dressed this morning and I knew what book, I wanted to pick my polka dot shirt because we are reading The Dot by Peter Reynolds, and this is a Scholastic book. And I know I've been saying this every day, but this is a really good book. Definitely one of my favorites. And I know I say that every day, but definitely one of my favorites today. The Dot. Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. Now, we were just talking about feelings. Do you think you can find the word for what Vashti is feeling? Her face. Her face says it all. I think she's upset or maybe even angry. Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. Ah, a polar bear in a snowstorm, she said. Very funny, said Vashti. I just can't draw. Here's Vashti's paper. Why did her teacher say that was a polar bear in a snowstorm? Because a polar bear is white and a snowstorm is white. But really, did Vashti draw anything at all? She says, I can't draw. Her teacher smiled. Just make a mark and see where it takes you. Vashti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a good, strong jab. There. Whoa, look at her face now. Remember when we were doing our emotions the other day, our feelings, and we stomped and screamed? That is making me think that's how Vashti is feeling. Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper toward Vashti and quietly said, now sign it. And see how she's studying it very carefully. And she wants Vashti to sign it. What do you think that means, to sign it? What does she want Vashti to do? Let's see. Vashti thought for a moment. Well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name. So she's signing her name. She's writing her name on it. Her little dot, her little mark. She still looks upset, doesn't she? The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot. She had drawn her dot, all framed in swirly gold. Really looks like a piece of art now, doesn't it? Let's see where she signed it. Looks so fancy. I can make a better dot than that. She opened her never-before-used set of watercolors and set to work. Now she's got 3 pieces of paper. She's feeling like she can do it. Vashti painted and painted a yellow dot, a green dot, a red dot, a blue dot. The blue mixed with the red. She discovered that she could make a purple dot. Vashti kept experimenting lots of little dots in many colors. If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too. Vashti splashed her colors with bigger brush and on bigger paper to make bigger dots. I'll say this paper's bigger than she is. Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot. It's huge paper or canvas, and she's just painting around the middle to leave the white space open, and that's the dot. She's getting creative now. At the school art show, a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots made quite a splash. And look at her face now. Does she look angry anymore? What feeling would you say she has? I'm thinking proud. It's like a real artist. All her artwork is hanging up. Vashti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. You're a really great artist. I wish I could draw, he said. I bet you can, said Vashti. Me? No, not me. I can't even draw a straight line with a ruler. Vashti smiled. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper. Show me. The boy's pencil shook as he drew his line. There's his work. That's his line, and Vashti's really studying it, just like her teacher studied her mark. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle, and then she said, what do you think she says? Any prediction? Any guess? Please, sign it. And he's thinking, me? That squiggly line? That's the dot by Peter Reynolds. It kind of actually reminds me of the stories we read on Monday and Tuesday, where their work is different, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just different than maybe what other people are making. But once you kind of realize that your way is your way, and as long as you make that the best you can, then that's okay. Then maybe you can feel proud, happy, excited even. So another book that kind of connects. And I didn't do that on purpose, my friends, but you can make a lot of connections between books. Okay, we're going to move a little bit. So this story was all about dots and circle shapes. So what you're going to do just in the room that you're in is go find and maybe just point to or maybe touch some things around you that are circle shapes. And it could be circle, round, like a dot shape, or it could mean it's more rounded like a ball, or something kind of circular. Like, for example, I'm looking up here. I see this circle shape in the frame I have here, but I also see this flower pot. And I know that that flower pot has a round shape that goes that way. So you're going to take a couple seconds to just peek around your room calmly, and just point to or touch things that are circle shapes, and look up high to get yourself a good stretch, and also maybe look down low. Maybe there's something on the carpet or under your feet that is a circle shape. So take about 10 seconds to move around the room. Don't go too far because we're going to start back up with our drawing activity in a minute. Did you find some? Okay, come back with me. If you wandered off, come back over. We're going to start our art project. So for this art project, you are going to need your paper and pencil to get started, and your circle tracer, whatever you found. Maybe you had a cookie cutter or just a cup like I have. So you're going to get those things, and we are going to give this a whirl. Now listen, we're going to be putting a lot of different circle shapes on this paper. And I know that there are people who do not like the look of a lot of circles in one spot. It's actually a phobia called trypophobia. Trypophobia is the fear of a lot of little dots together. So if you, maybe you have no idea what I'm talking about, but if you don't like the way things look when it's so many dots together, just get started with me and then you can kind of look away. Does that make sense? This isn't like little tiny dots. I think everyone will be okay, but I just wanted to give a warning. Maybe your grown-ups have heard of that or have it. My niece doesn't like the look of lots of little dots together, so I know it's a thing. I don't really mind it. So I am going to try to show you as best I can. I'm going to try to do this with a pencil, but you know what? We'll see how it goes. I might need to go get a marker so you can see. So you're just going to put your circle tracer down, and you're going to push on it from the top because you do not want it to slide around. So you see I'm shaking the table so hard, the computer's shaking a little bit, but I don't want it to slide when I trace it. So I'm going to push it down from the top, and I'm going to trace around the outside. And when I lift it up, it should have a circle shape, and you can see that pretty well. So I think we're in good shape. I'm going to do that all over this paper, and for my young friends, you might just do a couple. And for my older friends, you're going to try to fill the whole paper. But now listen, here's something important. Remember the other day when we were drawing the elephant and we got to the spot where we were going to have them overlap and we just drew right through it? Today, you are not going to draw the overlapping line that goes into another circle. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you're just going to do your best to draw the circles away from each other and not touching. But I'm going to show some of my older friends what I mean here. Maybe you already know what I mean. So I'm going to draw a couple of circles away from each other, not even touching, but now I'm going to run out of room on my paper. So if you want to stop there, you can stop there. If you want to try a little bit of a challenge, I'm going to put the cup down. So now my cup is going through 3 circles, but I don't want to draw my line through a circle that's already there. So I'm just going to trace the parts of the cup that are on the outside of the circles. So there we go. I do not want to draw the line here through this circle, but there's a little spot here where I'm on the outside, and then you can't see, but behind it, there's another spot, so that when I lift this up, I have a circle under there, and I didn't go through the 3 other circles. Does that make sense? If you did go through, it's not the end of the world, and you have an eraser on your pencil, and you can erase. But if you want to try that challenge, and you can even go off the paper and kind of do part of a circle, and you're just going to fill this up with as many circles as you can that kind of look like they're overlapping. But if you can try to not draw those overlapping lines, so you get it looks like a circle behind a circle, then you're going to try that and fill your paper up as much as you can. Or maybe you already stopped, and that's okay too. Maybe you can just watch for a minute. I'm going to try to draw a few more overlapping. And if you can tell, so I'm not going to draw through that circle, but I'm going to draw where it comes out on the other side so that it looks like that circle's behind. I'm going to do one here. Now this one goes through 1, 2, 3, 4 circles. So I only got to draw 2 lines there. I'm going to come down here, do a couple more. So I'm filling up the whole paper with all of these dots, kind of like Vashti did. She just did dots and dots and dots, and she got really creative, didn't she? You can try that too. Maybe you just wanted to do 1 dot. I thought it would be fun to draw a lot of different ones. So take a minute. If you already stopped tracing, that's okay. They're all going to look different, right? Yours does not have to look just like mine, because mine is mine. And yours is yours. Can you see that? You can mostly see that. That's pretty cool. All right. Now, really and truly this time, I am not going to color this whole thing, but I'm going to show you how I colored it and then show you what it looked like, because I did color a whole one. So now I'm just going to pick 1 circle at a time, and I started with the ones that I could see. So I have 4 whole circles here. So the way I liked to color it was I kind of drew a border around it. You know when you're doing a puzzle and the grown-ups always say, do the border first, do the edge pieces. So I did the edge. Well, there's no edge on a circle, but I did the border first on the whole outside. You see that? So it's just 1 circle, and then I just colored it in. But if you're even more creative than me, maybe your circles are more interesting than just plain colored circles. And I kind of went back and forth that way. And then I picked a different color and did another full circle. And the reason I asked you to get 5 colors, if you went and got your colors, I'm going to stop after this, friends. Don't worry. You're not going to watch me fill in all these colors. The reason I said to get 5 is that's how many I used, so that no no two circles touching each other were the same color. Does that make sense? So I didn't want a purple circle touching a purple circle because then it might just look like a purple blob. All right. So I would color the rest of that in, and I did that for each circle. And I actually did a full one because I like crafts, and that's what it looks like. So I ended up coloring in all my circles, and it looks like that. And I did leave some white space, but if you don't want any white space, you can go back and see if you can get some more circle shapes in there and behind and fill that all in. But I liked the way that turned out. I thought it was pretty cool. So you might not finish it right now, that's okay. But you're gonna put it aside and you can come back to it when we're done and the video's over, or if you have more time later, and try the rest of your project. And remember that new vocabulary word, trypophobia. So don't show that picture to anybody you know that has trypophobia because they might not like all those dots together. Everybody's different, right? All right, another movement break. So you can do that again. You can go find the things that are circles around the room, or you can do some of the stretches or leaping that we've done in the last couple of videos. Whatever you need to do to get your wiggles out, we have one more project to do. Okay, so I'll meet you back here in like 10 seconds. Oh, I've got a lamp with lots of dots on it. That's cool. Oh, I also realized, friends, the reason I'm sniffling at you so much is because I think my allergies are starting because of all the leaves starting to grow. So I'm sorry for the sniffles, but I just can't help it. Spring is here, and so are my allergies. Okay, you back. Did you touch lots of different circles, dots, point, reach high? Ooh, reach low. Ready for one more project? Let's do it. So you might have come back with a paper plate. If you didn't, that's okay. You really do just need something flat to do this on. I'm going to do it on a paper plate so that I can maybe keep working on it when the video is done, and I can move it around. I know sometimes in this house we start a project and then we don't finish it and it needs to get cleaned up before we have a chance to finish it, and that can be frustrating. So I use this plate so I can take my project to a different spot in the house. So you're going to grab your plate if you have it, or just a flat surface, and whatever circle thing you came back with, I'm going to try my googly eyes because I think this will be funny, maybe a little creepy too. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to make a bigger circle out of smaller circles. So you're going to use your circle shape thing, whatever you have, coins, Cheerios, crackers, whatever it is, to build a bigger circle. Oh my goodness, I think this will look funny when it's done, but these are small. And so this might take a little while. Again, I probably won't make you sit here and watch me do the whole thing, but I do want you to see how it looks with so many googly eyes. I thought that would be silly, something you would like. So you do need kind of a lot of whatever you grabbed, especially if it's small. I guess if you grabbed something bigger, it wouldn't take as long to turn lots of little circles into a big circle. But how about those googly eyes? These are small, so this is going to take a while, but I'm going to kind of keep adding to the outside so that really my circle is growing kind of, can you see my hands? Like that way. It's going to kind of spread from the middle. So this is your challenge, to make bigger dot shapes out of some smaller dot shapes that you were able to find. And maybe you want to use different tools altogether. I don't want to get my Cheerios dirty because, let's be honest, I'm probably going to eat those, and I don't really want them touching all the other supplies. But if you had different materials that could touch each other, oh no, an eyeball fell out. How often do you get to say an eyeball fell out? So you're going to keep building around and around and around and try to make a really big circle, really big dot. Just like Vashti did. She made that huge one, remember? Well, she made that one by not making a dot. She put the paint around the outside. Oh, look. There's the eyeball. without the eyeball. So we'll put that over there. So this could go on and on and on, my friends. You could fill up the whole plate if you had enough of your little dots. So keep going on that. I'm going to wrap up the video, but you can keep going with this project. And if you put yours on a plate, you can kind of save it for later too, if you have more time later. Let me see. I just want to make sure that's it. All I have for you for today. I do have some follow-up websites that you can try. If you're older, you can maybe get there on your own. If you need help from your grown-ups, you can ask them when they have time. If you Google the Dot Song, and it should be the first and second ones that come up when you Google it. One is a girl singing it, and the other is just a picture and like a video of the words, but they're both the same song. If you Google the Dot Song, it is a song inspired by Peter Reynolds' book, The Dot. So Google the Dot Song. And I think the first one where it shows the girl singing it has some hand motions. So if you're the type of person that likes to sing and dance and put those things together, then you would like the first video that shows up on Google of the video of the girl actually singing the Dot Song. And if you Google Peter Reynolds, who is the author illustrator, I believe. Yeah, author illustrator of the Dot. His website has some ideas of other activities for this book, The Dot, but when you go there, you'll also see a lot of other books that he wrote that you might recognize. So he's got some good ideas on his website. Some of them are ones that we did, kind of like the Dot scavenger hunt. That is on his website as well. So some might be ideas we've already done, but some of them might be new. Something that you want to try if you have some time later today. That's it. That's our story for today. It was The Dot by Peter Reynolds. I hope you enjoyed it and the activities, and I will see you back here tomorrow.